In this lesson, you're going to learn how to get an input from the user, how to store it in a variable, and how to print text using the value stored in those variables. I'm going to start up the idle editor by double-clicking it, and then I'm going to position this shell window on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side I'm going to start a new file and just position my editor up here where I can put my program in. And what we're going to do is just start off with a simple input, and we're just going to say name equals input. Now remember, that's going to give us a variable called name, and we're going to store inside that variable whatever somebody types in as our answer. Now our prompt is just going to be what is your name ? And if I just close that bracket and save that code, let's just call it questions, and we'll put it inside the Python course folder. It's always a good idea keeping everything in a neat way on your computer. When we run that code now, it says what is your name, and I can just type in Max and press enter. Now nothing's happened yet, but it has actually stored my name inside a variable called name, and if we type name you will actually see it comes back. But what we're going to do is ask a few other things and print them out on screen. So we're going to ask another question now. I'm going to say food equals, and I'm going to write input and put in here, what is your favorite food? Now if you do make any mistakes and you try and save it and run it, if you've got something missing, Python's pretty good at giving you some information. It says the bracket was never closed, and then it will tell you that bit is where it was opened and it needs to be closed at the end there. So do get used to it. It doesn't matter if you make a few mistakes like this. It's what matters is trying to figure out what went wrong and how you can fix it. So try and look out for the clues it tells you if you get those kind of errors. So we run that now. It says what's your name, Max, what's your favorite food? I can type that in, and again nothing's come out yet, but it has stored those in those variables. So I'm going to do one more question like this. I'm going to say TV equals input. What is your favorite TV program? ? And if you want to, one thing I haven't done, it might be worth putting a space after that question mark, just so that it looks a bit neater when you're typing things in. Let's just check that's ended properly. I can make my window a little bit wider here so you've got room for that, and I'll save that, or do Control S to save it, run the module, and now we've got our three questions: Max, pizza, and whatever I want to write in here. And then you'll see that it's a little bit more neatly formatted on here. So what we're going to do now is actually get it to do something with those questions it's answered with the answers it got from the questions. I'm going to just say print, and we're going to put a whole load of things in one long sentence. We're going to say print name, comma, and I'm going to say likes eating, and we're going to come on to what I like eating in a minute, but let's just check what that does to start with. So we'll save that and run it, and if I put in here Max pizza, I'm just going to put sport this time, it will say Max likes eating. So the way that it's worked is that by having a variable name, we type it without putting any quotes around it, and it shows up as the contents of that variable. If we actually want to put a normal string that hasn't been inputted, we just put it inside these quotes, double quotes. So we can carry on with that, and I can say Max likes eating, and if I write food here, it's not going to put the word food, it's going to put the contents of food, the food variable. If we had written it here inside the green quotes, then we would have just got Max likes eating food, but by doing that, showing it as a variable, when it comes out in black, it's going to do something different. So let's just run that and say Max, here we go, Max, I'll say cheese this time, and I'll put the news as my TV show. It says Max likes eating cheese. So I'm going to add a bit more on that, and I'm just going to go back with a comma. I'm going to say inside my quotes and watching, and then I could write TV like this, but it will just say the word TV or the letters TV. If I close the quote and put TV as a variable, remember that it's stored a variable here, then what it's going to do is actually echo that back to us. So I can say Max pizza, Ted Lasso, and my answer comes back like this. So have a go at getting that working on your computer. Do watch out that you've closed off things like brackets and you've closed off things like quotes. Use the colours as a clue. You'll find, you know, the things that you aren't going to be changing will be in green and the variables will be in black. Maybe add a few other questions on here. You might have to add a second line on here rather than trying to squeeze it into a really long one. Sometimes that's easier. If you do want a blank line, you can always just put print with empty brackets like that, and it will just make a little gap for you when you're writing, when it's showing on screen. Any gaps in your program won't change the output, but if you want to have a gap in the output, that will happen. Just to show you one last time, Max Cheese, documentaries about cheese. I'm going to put this time for a change. Documentaries about cheese. So you'll see it leaves a little gap after the input. So have a go at coding that on your computer and do extend it, see how you can get that built into an interesting program.